Fasting. Doctors usually recognize what this is, but don't want to say it. Fasting isn't a danger. It's the key to the body. How does the brain performance, muscle mass, and fat burning of someone who eats just one meal a day improve compared to someone who eats normally? What happens in the body during those hours when you're not eating? Let's break this down hour by hour. First 0 to 4 hours. Replenishing the tank. The clock starts ticking the moment you finish eating and put down your fork and spoon. For the first 4 hours, the body is swimming in energy. Our stomach breaks down the proteins we've consumed into amino acids and the carbohydrates into glucose. Not only does blood sugar rise, but the pancreas also begins to release insulin. You can think of insulin like a pipe where water flows in one direction. As long as insulin levels are high, energy that enters the cell never leaves. That's why, biologically speaking, burning fat is impossible during this phase. Excess energy entering the cell is stored as glycogen in the liver and muscles. You can think of this as cash in our wallet. We can access it easily, but only in limited amounts. 4 to 8 hours, the point where people give up. As 8 o'clock approached, blood sugar levels in the body begin to stabilize. Insulin levels drop. The brain's first task is to send a signal. The signal it sends, your cash is running low, meaning your body's energy is running low, is what makes you feel hungry. When the hunger hormone, ghrelin, rises, your stomach starts growling and you get irritable. It's exactly at this point that most people say, "I'm starving," but you're actually saying this because you're dependent on that quick fuel. Your body is actually like a battery-powered car that always runs on high voltage. Whenever you try to switch to the backup battery, this causes you to stumble. But if you manage to get past this point successfully without getting caught up in these signals, the liver kicks in and is forced to open the doors to the glycogen stores. This helps balance blood sugar levels in the body. At the same time, muscle mass isn't lost. You won't die. Just like you start spending frugally when you're low on money, your body begins to conserve energy. 12th hour, the safe lock blows. Glycogen levels are hovering at critical levels. The body is now forced to choose between two options: shut down or open the fat stores. The human body is naturally designed to survive for weeks without food. Therefore, the body doesn't hesitate to open the fat stores. After this, insulin levels drop to rock bottom. This outcome is to be expected. The hormone-sensitive lipase enzyme is activated. This unlocks the fat cells. Days or even weeks later, the body may begin drawing real energy from its fat stores for the first time. It starts using you as fuel, not the meal you ate yesterday. 14 to 16 hours. Energy shift. Fasting between 14 to 16 hours is completely different. During this time, hunger pangs usually disappear. Why is that? Because the body's energy source is no longer fluctuating. This leads to the following analogy. A body fueled by food equals a roller coaster with ups and downs. A body fueled by fat equals a steady, smooth line. Even when body fat is at its lowest, it provides enough energy to sustain the body for weeks. The liver begins converting fatty acids into ketones. Since our brain cannot directly burn fat, it requires glucose, or ketones. Our brain, however, prefers ketones. When glucose is burned, it leaves behind oxidation byproducts. This allows ketones to burn cleanly and release more energy. This is why an awakening occurs in the human body after the 16th hour. The fog in the mind clears, and our focus sharpens. If we imagine early humans, if a hungry cave dweller were sluggish and dull, they wouldn't be able to go out and hunt. Hunger is one of the things that drives us to be hunters, not sleepers. 16 to 18 hours, the most important stage, autophagy. Now let's recall that storage unit from the beginning, an empty storage unit whose interior has never been cleaned. By the 18th hour, cells enter that storage unit and begin scanning for trash, broken shelves, and rusty pipes. The body's cells begin hunting down damaged proteins. They locate mitochondria that can no longer function, misfolded proteins that could lead to Alzheimer's, and viruses and bacteria hidden within the cell. After forming a membrane to dissolve these, they recycle them. The process results in brand new, pristine amino acids. This is called autophagy in medical terms, literally meaning self-eating. We can describe it as the body's internal recycling system. When a person eats all day, this system doesn't function at all. The cleanup crew can't come to clean. For a person to activate this system, they must either fast like this or engage in very intense exercise to trigger it. By fasting for up to 18 hours, you're triggering the system and granting your body permission to clean out the waste. Why is your skin starting to improve? Why are old injuries beginning to heal? This is the answer. 20 to 22 hours. What happens to the muscles? After sharing all this information, some of you may still have doubts. That's perfectly normal. Indeed, you might wonder, if the body is breaking down its own tissues, won't it break down the muscles too? This common myth is physiologically incorrect. At the 20th hour, the body releases two hormones to protect the muscles, growth hormone and HGH. According to research, HGH levels can increase by 1,300% to 2,000% during fasting. HGH acts as a shield, protecting the muscles. It's as if it's saying, burn the fat, but don't touch the muscle. We need to go hunting. The body is incredibly intelligent by design. Let's illustrate this with an example. When there's a wood-filled pantry outside, the body doesn't burn the furniture inside the house, that is, the body's muscle, to provide heat. In this state, where insulin is low and HGH is high, HGH is the rare hormone that burns fat while preserving muscle. Finding this state outside of fasting is nearly impossible. 23rd hour. The body is ready. Are you ready? We're almost there. Your insulin sensitivity has peaked. Your cells are ready to absorb what's given to them, like a dry sponge. Your digestive system is fresh and vibrant after 23 hours of rest. Intestinal inflammation has subsided. Since harmful bacteria aren't constantly consuming sugar in your body, they've retreated, while resilient, beneficial bacteria remain firmly in place. You've drawn energy from pure fat, and your brain is illuminated by ketones. Your cells have cleared out waste. Growth hormone has peaked, and most importantly, you're optimized. What you eat now is twice as important. If you fast for 23 hours and then fill your stomach with pizza, hamburgers, and soda, you're filling a sensitized system with junk food and, as a result, disrupting it. You'll feel tired and bloated due to a sharp insulin spike in your body. So what should we eat? 1. Foundation. Protein intake. Steak, eggs, salmon, chicken. You need amino acids to rebuild the structures broken down during autophagy. We'll replenish these with these foods. 2. Energy. Healthy fat intake. Avocado, olive oil, nuts. Since the body is already in fat-burning mode, consuming fats keeps that engine running smoothly and balances the insulin response. 3. Micronutrients. It's difficult to get enough potassium and magnesium from small snacks in the single meal you eat each day. Leafy greens, broccoli, and fermented foods like sauerkraut provide minerals that help prevent cramps and fatigue. When you eat your post-fast meal this way, you'll notice something surprising. You'll feel full very quickly. The satiety hormone leptin and the hunger hormone ghrelin finally start communicating properly. Adaptation process. To be honest, switching from 3 or 4 meals a day to just 1 meal will make you feel terrible. It takes time for your body to build its fat-burning system. It takes time for your liver to become proficient at producing ketones. This is called metabolic flexibility. In the first week, you may experience headaches, fatigue, and irritability. This doesn't mean your diet is poor. In fact, your body is going through a kind of deprivation. As insulin levels drop, the kidneys begin to excrete water and sodium. As a solution, if you add a pinch of sea salt to your water while fasting, the headaches will subside immediately. One final note. Fasting is a form of stress on the body. If you're already under high stress, have sleep issues, or have thyroid problems, a 23-hour fast is likely to elevate cortisol levels. This protocol is intended for healthy adults. If you are pregnant, breastfeeding, have a history of eating disorders, or are taking diabetes or blood pressure medications, fasting without consulting your doctor poses a health risk. Conclusion. The food system the modern world has built is hostile to our biology. Hunger is a signal you can control. Hunger gives you a freedom that goes beyond weight loss and time saving. By breaking free from being a slave to blood sugar, you return to your natural programming. You're not starving yourself. You're healing. You're finally giving your body permission to heal. If you've tried fasting, don't forget to share your experience in the comments. You can support us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Stay healthy.